esteemed speakers with me. Very heavyweight, very versatile and varied experience they are coming from, and also greetings from my side to everyone, all of you who are there to do this deliberation and conversation on the PSU, how they'll be working, and compliments to organizers for organizing such a wonderful second edition of the most important backbone of our industry, of our nation, who are upholding majority of our operations, a mammoth, a very muscle power on ground. If you will look at it, their strength, their penetration, their hold, their inclusivity is very, very high. And with changing time, we are now entering into a different lag. So just to give you a context before we enter into conversation, is if you look at India, you can look at PSU. If you look at PSU, you can look at India. India opened, or you can say, came into existence officially, technically, legally, whichever way you say, is from 1947. Before that, culturally, we had a very high and very strong legacy of our wisdom, our culture. Also, the kind of civilization we had, it goes up to 7,000, I can say, years in Indus Valley civilization. But from 1947 to somewhere around 1960, if you look at how Indian economy, how Indian progress has gone forward, is more of agricultural economy. And in agricultural economy, सबसे खुशी की बात क्या होती थी कि आपको पहले अंग्रेजों को लगान देना पड़ता था. जब आप आज़ाद हो गए तो आपको लगान देना बंद कर दिया गया. So that is the kind of ease of doing business. That is the kind of place where a lot of very early age PSU, they started coming in and they started looking at how we can improve agriculture, because exploitation was finished, and then we started thinking about farmers, we started thinking about co-ops, we also started thinking about our productivity and other thing. From 1960 to 85, if you look at the journey of Indian economy, you will look at it started growing into manufacturing economy. Then we started focusing on the industries. Then we started working on how we can, free the force, the labor. We can look into the upliftment and welfare of how economy can contribute into contribution. Because majority of product we used to import, and majority of goods which we are producing here naturally or from fields, we used to export. So this import-export combination we wanted to change, and then we entered into manufacturing economy. From 1985 to 2000, now this is your era, people who are here on that age group. In this era, we entered into an economy of technology. We entered into economy of smart manufacturing. We entered into economy of communication, IT, computers. So this economy has opened India to come into its true power. And this true power has taken us to enter into the last quarter of our 100 years. So if from 2000 to 2022, the last 22 years, if you will look at it, then this is the digital economy. This is an economy of circularity. This is an economy of sustainability. This is an economy of climate. This is an economy of communication. So UPI, DPI, all innovations which you will see is between 2000 to 2020, 22. But now we are into 2024. So these 2 years, from 2022 to 2024, are the last quarter of our Amrit Kal. So I have tried to give you an gist of the Amrit Kal, what our Prime Minister keep on saying, that this Amrit Kal is the reason, is the opportunity that for India as a nation, as a organization, private, PSU, corporate, media, everyone, people, to achieve what we could not achieve into last 75 years. So these 25 years, out of which 2 years we have already spent, are going to decide that how many buses we hold and how many buses are missed. So we are going to today talk about which bus we are going to catch, which bus we are going to miss, how much we will be able to quantify, assetize or monetize during these 25 years, are going to decide what type of India we are going to give to our next generation. If our next generation gets up and says to us that what you did, you have a lot of technology at one side, but you do not have a sufficient, database of about livestock, of about your crops, about farmers. You made so much car, but you could not see how traffic jams and congestion are coming up. You made so much industries, but you did not care about the air quality. So these are the questions we are going to answer to the next generation. So with this opening remark, I would like, we'll start with you, sir, from the other side to give your views on it, that what your organization is going to believe and going to achieve into next 25 years to create a new Viksit Bharat and new India.
Hello, am I hearable? Yeah, I'm Anup, Prasad, General Manager in SAIL and Chairman of Computer Society of India. In SAIL, we have recently, Chairman has decided that to create a new vertical of digitalization. And very soon we are going to have a different vertical for carbon reduction in carbon emission, both. And I have very few points to make. And both the points are a bit, it could be very hard hitting, but it's different. Point number one is we are in the panel discussion of digital evolution, right, sir? I think we have already evolved for the last few years. What Tata Steel has done in 20 to 25 years back, and the same thing is being copied by public sector units after 25 years.
You have to hold mic little close to you so that it can...
Yeah. Sorry. So what we have started now has already been done by Tata Steel and Jindal almost 20-25 years back. Now, digital evolution has already been done in this country. Now, we are in the phase of AI, 4G, 5G, or say in future 10G, cloud, IoT, IIoT. All these things will be finished within the next 3 to 4 years. Now, what is going to happen in future? Something called quantum AI is going to take place and replace all these things. And the difference between AI and quantum AI is something, the concept started in 19th century by none other than Einstein. And you all will be surprised to know that's nothing new. The theory of relativity was discovered by Einstein. So, sir, we all know that we have something called CAG Bhushandi Varta in Ramayana, where when CAG enters in some time space zone and he comes back, few thousand years has already passed. And this is something related to relativity theory.
Very interesting.
And how it is related to quantum AI or AI? If time permits, I'd like to speak about it.
We will keep one introduction now.
Okay.
We'll go around and we'll come back to you. Is
Sure.
it okay?
Sure.
Sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Rajesh Tripathi from National Small Industries Corporation. So our organization is basically into MSME sector. We facilitate the entire micro, small, medium sectors across India. And as far as we are talking about the role of technology, role of digitization in the public sectors, how it has been going on, how we are perceiving it. So let me tell you, I started my career with public sectors long back in, let's say, 1998. At that point of time, there was you can say, a negligible kind of users of technology, computers and all that. और जब कंप्यूटर उस समय आए तो ऐसे लगता था जैसे घरों में मंदिर हम सजाते हैं तो साइड में बड़े टेबल्स पे एक बड़ा सा मॉनिटर रख दिया जाता था और उसको पर्दे से ढक दिया जाता था तो ऐसे लगता था बहुत, तो जितने बड़े ऑफिसर होते थे सब सजा के उसको रखते थे, कोई खोल के देखता नहीं था. पीपल वेर अप्रीहेंसिव, कहीं कोई बटन दब गई तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. सो दैट वाज द टाइम जब ये सब चीज़ें इनिशिएट हो रही थी, शुरू हो रही थी. एंड आई रिमेंबर विथ ITDC, Ashwani Lohani that time joined as a CMD in our company long time back. He called me and he said, let's go for some kind of digitalization in HR processes. We went to CDEC. We started developing a HR software system for the company. And we did that, though it could not take off after some time. Because people are coming, going. Even I left ITDC long time back. So I have been moving from government sector to private sector. I worked with the power sector like Tata Power and GMR, etc. for 10 years. So I have seen both the flip-flop side of the technology, which is being available in the government sector, which is there in comparison to them in the private sector. Coming back in today's scenario, what the organization has been going on. Yes, after the corona, there has been a drastic change in it. But since the people are the same, still I feel that cultural change is still required. We have brought new machines, we have brought new software systems and everything, but the people, they are still there. That software has not been upgraded. So I think that requires much more of upgradation, and I think that's how we can. So.
Definitely, I have a very, very good question for you. I think 2016-17, our Honorable Prime Minister was holding a meeting with Ease of Doing Business team at his residence. और उन्होंने कहा कि पिछले 4-5 सालों में जो भी वर्ल्ड बैंक की ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस की रैंकिंग भारत की बढ़ी, उसमें गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर के PSUs का बहुत बड़ा योगदान था. बहुत सारे फॉर्म्स, बहुत सारी सरकारी मंजूरी जो पहले ओवर द काउंटर लाइन में लग के हमें लेनी पड़ती थी, उसके लिए काफ़ी मशक्क़त करनी पड़ती थी, वो मंजूरियां आजकल चंद घंटों में एक पोर्टल पर डॉक्यूमेंट या फॉर्म अपलोड करके मिल जाती है. लेकिन साथ में उन्होंने ये भी कहा कि ये अप्रोच है कि आप ओवर द काउंटर लाइन में लग के जमा कर रहे हैं या आप पोर्टल पे जाके अपना फॉर्म अपलोड कर रहे हैं. अप्रोच बदलना, मैं आई एम जस्ट कोटिंग हिम वर्ड बाय वर्ड, इज अप्रोच बदलना ही सेड वाज आसान था, सोच बदलना बहुत मुश्किल था. So what is your take? Because you are somebody who is taking care of human resource within PSU, people who are into government services, when it comes to an interface with public, the thought process, the mindset plays a very, very important role.
Thank you for asking such a valid question. I mean, in today's scenario, let me tell you, approach तो आप पढ़ लिख के भी बदल सकते हैं. आप system, softwares, knowledge, machines, all this can help you to change the approach. But just with the approach, you cannot go ahead until unless you have got that willingness, that cultural change within you. And that is something which requires a change over a period of time. Because our thought process is such that we cannot change immediately until unless, even if somebody is telling us to change, we can change our clothes, we can change our system, we can buy new laptops. आज की तारीख में भी still we will find so many people in the public sector, they are using emails only as a postman. They do not write any content within the mail, but they just use it to send some kind of attachment to somebody. क्योंकि हमारे दिमाग में एक सिस्टम बैठा हुआ है कि कोई भी कम्युनिकेशन किसी जरिए के थ्रू हमें कहीं पे भेजना है. तो पहले हम डाक के थ्रू भेजते थे, रजिस्टर में लिख के भेजते थे, फिर हमने कहा अच्छा ईमेल आ गया है तो चलो IOM बनाते हैं और ईमेल में अटैच करके भेज देते हैं. तो बहुत ज़्यादा बदलाव उस तरीके से नहीं आता जब तक कल्चरली आप सोचो कि ईमेल में आप सीधे लिख के भी डायरेक्टली कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हो, आपको एक कागज़ बर्बाद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. इन टुडेज सिनेरियो ग्रीन HR का कंसेप्ट आ गया है. देयर आर सो मेनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, पेपरलेस HR हो रहा है, जहाँ पे वो कहती हैं कि लेट्स नॉट वेस्ट दिस, लेट्स गो ग्रीन, और सारा सब कुछ सिस्टम बेस्ड, ऐप बेस्ड होना चाहिए. और मोस्ट ऑफ दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आज की तारीख में दिस पब्लिक सेक्टर्स दे हैव चेंज. आपके पास ERP सिस्टम है, यू हैव गॉट एम्प्लॉई सेल्फ सर्विस पोर्टल, यू हैव गॉट फॉर लीव मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, परफॉर्मेंस अप्रेजल सिस्टम, एंड एवरीथिंग हैज़ बीन चेंज. बट gradually I think that culture part, that willingness part will also change in due course of time.
So thank you so much, sir. Wonderful. I will come back to you again. Over to you,
sir. So ESL is Energy Efficiency Service Limited is relatively a newer organization if we will compare to the traditional PSUs like NTPC, Power Grid, ONGC. So here I will not say here are not challenges for the digitalization and digital transformation, but challenges of different kind of, because I remember around 7 years back, 2017, I take the charge, and then everything was the manual only. Laptop, desktop, internet was the thing as far as IT is concerned. So over a period of time, within 2-3 years, we did many changes, because what happens, our program were very large scale, and then the width was from each and every nook and corner of India. And the time was very, very short. Like just we need to finish our project within 6 months or 8 months. If we will take a Ujala project, right? We like distribute 36 crores of bulbs just in a span of 2.5 years across India. And if we will take example of street light, so there was 14 million street light has been installed in last 5 years. And so without IT driven project, it is not possible to implement such a large project. So the approach was entirely different, and then we build a lot of systems. All these lights were connected to the IoT based systems where we can monitor it. Again, it is connected to the control center. Again, parallelly, there are certain IT which is internal to the organization where you take care of all procurement, inventory management, vendor payment. But as you already said, sir, कि सोच कैसे बदली जाए? That was really a challenge for each and every organization. आपने IT system build कर दिया, but who will punch that data into SAP system? So now the new role come in. So where that digital transformation role has come up. So you build the system where your user has forced to put that things without any intervention. So that's the actual use of IT. So जब भी किसी आप डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की बात करते हैं तो पहला आपका मुद्दा ये होना चाहिए कि इससे आपके स्टेक होल्डर को क्या फ़ायदा है, आपके यूज़र को क्या फ़ायदा है. अगर आप इंटरनल आईटी की बात करते हैं तो आपके यूज़र को क्या फ़ायदा है. आप जब काम करते हैं एज एन PSU तो एक कॉमन मैन को उससे क्या बेनिफिट मिलने जा रहा है. बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी बिल्ड ए जस्ट आई विल रैप अप इन 1 मिनट फॉर फर्स्ट राउंड एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी मार्केट प्लेस. हमने जाके हिंदुस्तान में 36 करोड़ बल्ब बांट दिए, 1.4 करोड़ स्ट्रीट लाइट लगा दी, इंडक्शन कुक स्टोव बांट दिए, इतने हमने इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल अप्रॉक्सीमेट 6,000-7,000 बांट दी. बट एक्चुअल अगर कोई एक गांव में बैठा हुआ है उसको क्या, अब बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड आई थिंक every nook and corner know how to buy from e-commerce website. So the idea has come up, we build our energy efficiency marketplace, and then we tie up with the Department of Post where their reach is very, very vast, right? However, there may be a certain delay in delivery to that location. So we need to think that way, how common man got benefited. That's my idea for actually digital transformation.
Very interesting. And your company, I also have a follow-up question with you. Your company has a very important core role of looking at the energy transition, the way we use mobility as a service for transportation, and ESL also plays double role with bringing solar into the mainstream energy generation, also reaching out to people, their lives. So there are a lot of things which is happening in terms of making this entire trail of fossil fuel, on which we were main transition and the power economy was based, to transit to a renewable, into solar, into wind, into hydel. So how do you think the digitization of what we are investing, where we are spending, what amount of energy we are spending in which sector, and then going into each one of them, right from textile to steel, leather, aviation, railway, all of them, they have two things in common. One is energy and second is a certain type of digital infrastructure. So digital infrastructure, if I put for a second aside, then energy infrastructure spectrum is very huge, and it also requires a huge amount of investment to come into it. How do you think ESL has managed to look at the challenges and also address it? Where do you think it is going, and what is your note about it?
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. सो देखिए साहब, दो एनर्जी के लिए जब मैं एनर्जी जनरेट करता हूँ तो अगेन जनरली मोस्टली थ्रू फॉसल फ्यूल, सस्टेनेबिलिटी कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर. तो 2 ही तरीके हैं उसके, या तो मैं एनर्जी को एफिशिएंट करूं जिससे कि मेरा पावर जनरेशन रिड्यूस हो जाए, दूसरा मेरा वे ऑफ like renewable energy, and then the way where we can put the alternate energy, right? So energy efficiency, we built couple of years, we did lot of programs, we as I said, energy, if we will talk about LED, right? So when we have started around 2016, the cost of that LED bulb was more than 400. Within a year, the cost goes to 70 rupees. So I think this is the transformation is required, and then which actually, if you will say 40 million tons of carbon reduction annual. So it's a huge sustainable impact as far as the environment is concerned, and a huge lot of energy saving. Now, second thing, as you are saying, like the government is pushing a lot of solar. So we are also in the solar rooftop. So as per mandate, less than 10 megawatt of power. ESL is building a lot of solar project in Maharashtra. More than 200 megawatt has already been built, and net metering is also been implemented. Apart from that, e-mobility is the another area where we are putting a lot of impact. So if you will see around 4 years back, so hardly any car, electric car you have seen on the road, right? So once you start pitching into it, again there are a challenge. The government is the only who can absorb that thing. So, but in last 4 years, if you will see, every second or 1.5 to second car is the electric at this point of time, right? The registration in India, in Delhi is more than CNG. So that's the impact that organization is doing, and if you will see the again bus, that PME bus seva, where 50,000 bus are coming onto the road in next couple of years, where, so as far as IT is concerned, so the government mandate is we will run the bus, but actual each and every monitoring of this, that bus be through IT systems. So that platform would be built, all the payment to that operator would be through that GPS system. There would not be any odometer reading can be considered. If there would be any issue with certain technological, and that it can be cross-checked. Apart from that, there are a lot of parameters in terms of battery parameters, security parameters. So you can see on the dashboard. So that's the impact of digitization which we are taking
with
care.
this, we have reached to the introduction, and I'll have now a couple of questions. Before I include my audience into the conversation, I have my question from all of my panelists is, we have now reached on a place where we are now doing UPI, and we are now talking about DPI. DPI is digital public interface, where a lot of services which are there with the government, you are also converting a larger database under ONDC. We have already successfully created a marketplace of digitally driven listing of product, technologies and services on GEM. So as a country, what is the next step which you believe? I will give you definitely one or two options to pick up, and this question is from all three of you, is what is next going to come and change this complete landscape of digitization, assetization, the way our physical infrastructure is planned, and also how we will be able to optimize them commercially in terms of accountability, in terms of transparency, in terms of being more precise, more backed economy. And this is where our new generation is expecting us. My new generation who is sitting here in audience, they don't like to hear that somebody is bullying someone on internet and having an unknown card, SIM card, or unknown account. They do not like the accountability to next generation is you cannot hit a car and run away because you have used some fake information to register a vehicle. If they meet on an accident on a toll road, they expect ambulance to reach there in time. You cannot give an excuse to new generation ki ambulance wale ko pata nahi tha. They will tomorrow ask, why are you not putting up a GPS in those ambulances? When I'm triggering a call, I need ambulance, I have paid toll for this. So these kind of transparency, these kind of accountability, which are possible by the use of technology, are yet not into the public service or public domain, and also the transparency which you have said that itne gharon mein Ujala, Jan Dhan Yojana, Startup India, Digital India, there are huge numbers which we have delivered over a period of time of last 10 years, but where are these people? Where are these, toilets? Where are these houses built? They all are slowly coming on the geo map. They are also creating their geo locations, geo layer, so that tomorrow, if we do a larger project, like recently, I don't know how many of you are aware or not, that PM Gati Shakti and Skill Council of India, they tied hand together, they signed an MOU to predict that what kind of manpower, what kind of semi-skilled and skilled force will be required for next 20 years in which location of the country. What type of large infrastructure project, which side of country we are going to do, so that a semi-skilled manpower can be prepared for that location. क्योंकि मजदूर बहुत दूर से काम करने जाते नहीं हैं, वो आसपास के ही होते हैं. So these kind of geo mapping, what is the infrastructure going to look like 10 years from now, how airport network is going to look like from 10 years from now, rail network, road network, network of your banks, network of your hospital, PHC, everything is going to come up on the geospatial network. And when these networks are going to collaborate with both government related owners, government backed owners, which I can say PSUs, and also private companies and private stakeholders, how are we going to work together, and what is your take, what is your opinion or your contribution that you see will create much value to it? So it's a very open and generic question. We can start with you, sir.
So I think we have already achieved digitalization as far as the year is concerned, as per the requirement, but still, if you go to purchase a flat, go to a builder, anywhere in the country, he will simply ask you one-to-one, how much cash you are going to pay and how much loan you will take. This is the truth.
How much cash you are going to pay and how much loan you will take?
Now, how much money is official and how much cash you will pay.
Okay.
And more the cash, lesser the price, more the discount. This I think everybody has faced and everybody is facing and everybody will face for next few years till we go for 100% digitalization. All the hard cash notes need to be eliminated from the system.
I think that's the only transaction now left with cash, na? Everything else is UPI.
Sir, अभी जो किसान का जो ये चल रहा है, लोग हमर में आ रहे हैं. Everybody knows. हमर में आ रहे हैं 4 करोड़ की गाड़ी, 10 करोड़ की गाड़ी लेकर के, और उन्हें टैक्स फ्री चाहिए. ये इंडियन इकोनॉमी को.
This is how this black economy converts.
Yeah, we have parallel economy. Everybody knows it. This need to be finished. आपका आज चाय बेचने वाला गरीब आदमी, गोलगप्पा बेचने वाला यूपीआई लेकर के बैठा है, आपने उसकी इकोनॉमी को तो सर्किट में ले लिया है. But what about all these businessmen and builders and किसान, so called किसान जो इनकम टैक्स बेनिफिट ले रहे हैं और जो हमर में आ रहे हैं और उनकी एक्टिविटी को ओपन फोरम में नहीं बोला जा सकता, जो दिख रहा है व्हाट्सएप ये में.
So your suggestion prescription is we need to be much stricter.
100% हमें गांधी जी को हटा देना है नोट वाला. We have to get rid of all type of these.
Absolutely.
भारत का अशोक स्तंभ है फोटो में और वही ट्रांसफर हो. वरना 70 साल में जो हुआ है साहब, इसको काफी कुछ खत्म किया जा चुका है, इसको होना बाकी है और भी.
So I'll add to it, but at the end let me bring Rajesh ji in the conversation. Rajesh ji, what is your, if you want to cite a challenge, that's also I'm welcome to hear, and if you want to contribute something which you believe your organization or your sector can contribute to it.
So I think I will just say 2 letters which will change the entire world. That is AI. That's all. बाकी सब कुछ उसके पीछे ही आएगा, जो कुछ बदलेगा अब यही बदलेगा. Nothing else.
Artificial intelligence. Very interesting conversation. You wish to add something to it?
देखिए सर, आज हम देखें डिजिटाइजेशन तो हमारा हर जगह हो गया है, राइट? द गैप इज, आप आज की डेट में टोल रूट से निकलते हैं तो आपको आज भी भीड़ नज़र आती है। आप हर जगह आपको अलग डेटा देना पड़ता है, हर जगह एवरीबडी वेयर पीपल यूज योर पैन कार्ड, योर आधार कार्ड, ईच एंड एवरी आइडेंटिटी, एवरीवन इज आस्किंग व्हाई इट इज सो. If you have, but the things are changing. Now the kids are coming, so ABC ID has created, digital locker has created. So your each and everything would be at single place, right? So you need to just pass that data. Rest of the information is not required. If we will talk about DPDP Act is coming, then we are talking about lot many personal information need to be eradicated. Once you have that infrastructure, you don't require that information which is actually not required for that particular transaction. So things will change, as you say, in last 10 years, all these things, and definitely technology will definitely make an impact on that. The challenge in our country, the population is our assets, because whatever we sell, that's the public, we make it strong, but again, all these challenges because of that. Definitely sooner or later things will come.
So if I take from this last round of conversation, then sir said it's a black economy, unaccountable cash. It creates a problem which comes back to you, and it knocks your door of development. It again brings you back, bring you down, that what you're thinking. We will be able to put any hat of Kisan or tomorrow labor, and we'll about, to create lot of nuisance which would impact your global image, which will impact your indicator on investment and also the ease of doing business. Sir said that AI is going to change. A lot of, Rajesh ji said AI is one word which is very, very powerful. It is going to govern things like anything, and it is going to change majority of. Your take is individual information which is right now available is going to be much more precise in coming time, and it is going to resolve majority of problem. I would also add something to it, maybe it brings all of us together, is individual information at this stage of time has a saturation level. Once you have counted each and every person in this hall, you cannot do that counting again and again until and unless some change happens. So in the vicinity of where we are doing census, the way we used to do census 10 years, 20 years back, and now we do census, is completely a national population register, UIDI, you can say all registers of census are now digital. And there are possible categorization, improvements of changing, which are changing the way we used to look at the data analytically. Second, we are still away from the assetization of infrastructure. Infrastructure is not people. How many MSMEs are there? How many ATMs are there? How many roads are there? How many bridges are there? One bridge collapses, and then we go launch an audit to see how many other bridges are on the same position to take somebody's life. And then a huge industry of around 20,000 crore rupees repair to the existing bridge they become into existence. So we will have to assetize, we will have to make a very precise, transparent information database of our assets, so that we can look at them from the technical point of view, commercial point of view, how are they going to serve the generation, whether the next generation should be bridge or it should be some second level of tunnel or flyover. The decision which our next generation has to take, or our coming government has to take, are going to be more data driven. They are going to take a decision whether I will repair this bridge or better I create a tunnel. So the call is lying in the data of how much they will spend on the bridge and how much and what they are going to get out of it. So a lot of information around it and a lot of communication, aspiration, I will say ambition. One ambition on which I would like to bring now everybody's attention to close this conversation is energy, is your air, it's your pollution, it's the atmosphere where we all have to breathe. No matter you are a rich person, you are a poor person, you are a minister, or you are a auto driver, all of you have to breathe in same air. So this is a concern for each and every person, and to do one transition and to come out of it the way we plan our economy to evolve from a fossil fuel economy to a green economy, we will be requiring somewhere around 10 trillion US dollar. By 2070, if you look at the number, if you look at the gigantic task and the large level transition this nation has to go forward to achieve its net zero across all sectors, be it aviation, railway, chemical, fertilizer, textile, leather, each and every sector has to convert to zero energy, net zero emissions. And to get this requirement of around 10 trillion is twofold of our current mainstream economy. And our current mainstream economy, if they have to evolve at that level, the most important thing now, which we require as a nation, is to learn how to uphold this transition financially. We cannot look at it, I think you will be the right person to add more to it, that if you are taking a decision within your organization, in your family household, in your society, in your apartment, anywhere, if you are going to take a decision that I'm going to change the way we used to look at energy or consume energy, it is a capital intensive decision. You go for a solar, you go for hydel power, you go for wind power, all of them, they come very, very expensive. And something which you want to do from bottom of your heart, you will not be able to do because the fund requirement. So with this, we are reaching to the last round of our conversation where we will include audiences into it. And at the end, we will also be able to at least give you a good takeaway by opening a climate financing instrument of around 5,000 crore rupees, which will uphold the transition of our road transport from Delhi to Kanyakumari on an electric bus, electric car, whichever medium people choose to use it, they would be requiring a certain amount of infrastructure, which you can say today they are petrol pumps and tomorrow you will be able to say charging station which dispense charge and it also dispense hydrogen as a fuel. So to uphold this transition, we have brought two organizations together. One is a public organization, one is a private organization to work together in a PPP mode and execute this type of large level transition. And I'm happy if my team will be able to bring some of the transition documents which we'll be able to. Do we have some time for one or two questions? Absolutely running out of time. So can we have the report there with us so that we can share it? Thank you everyone for being wonderful panelists, very valuable. 5 seconds. Sir, you'll have to be very, very quick by the time you bring it.
5 seconds. How many of you have heard the name Quantum AI? If not, please search Quantum AI in YouTube and or Google it. Rest of the answer.